What's going on? It's BF Nkrumah, Black Man's Personal Development Coach. But you know, I have love for and help the sisters. Today, I have a question, and that question is, what are you creating? Sounds like a very simple question, but it's not as simple as it sounds. What are you creating? As always, if you get value out of this video, make sure you stop by bfnkrumah.com and pick up one or all of my books. Or if you really feel like you got some extreme value and you just want to drop something on the brother, go ahead and cash app BFN Nkrumah. Now let's get into it. What are you creating? This morning, maybe 4:30 this morning, I was listening. Well, last night I came across a personal development teacher, Coach Bob Proctor on YouTube, and I started watching some of his videos this morning. When I got up, I got in my car, I looked to try to find him on podcasts. So I found him on podcast, and he said something that threw me for a loop, made a whole lot of sense, but it threw me when I heard it. He said that humans are the only creatures that get totally disoriented in their environment. He said every other creature adapts easily and fits comfortably in their environment, but humans don't. And the reason being is because humans have the ability to create. It's not for us to just fit in our environment. It's up to us to create the environment that we live in. And when we look throughout history, we haven't just stayed in whatever is going on at the time. We create. You know, all of us, we use air conditioners today. Somebody got tired of being hot, and they said, instead of me just being hot in my environment, I'm going to, well, they created the fan first, and then they created the air conditioner. And people said, man, riding on a horse is taking too long. They created cars, and then they said, man, the cars is too long. Plus, I want to go over water. Well, we're going to create planes. So humans, or some humans, those who get in tune with their purpose and those who get in tune with themselves, their giftedness, they create the environment that they live in. They don't allow the environment to define them. They don't allow the environment to bog them down. They don't allow the environment to just put them in a sad and depressed state. And this is not a shot at anybody who is sad and depressed. I have been very open with myself, having dealt with a depression in the past. So it's not a shot at anybody. This is me learning and teaching as I learn. They don't allow the environment to beat them down. They create the change that they need for the environment to suit them. So any discomfort in your life means you should be creating something. I was on a coaching call with a brother a week or two ago, and we was having a conversation, and he said, and people don't create anymore. People don't create anymore. And for the most part, we don't. We just go to jobs. Like we really succumb to the idea that our life is just about working a job, paying our bills, having a vacation every once in a while, and then dying. We're not expressing ourselves fully. We're not expressing our talents fully. We're not expressing our gifts fully. We're not expressing the God in us at all. We're not creating. We're succumbing to the environment. And that's why so many people are unhappy. So many people are on all kinds of medication, and so many people don't feel fulfilled or that their life has any meaning because they are not creating. And this is why we have so much discomfort in our life. The discomfort means you need to be creating something to solve this discomfort. It doesn't mean you just sit and wallow in the discomfort. It doesn't mean that you look for somebody else to change the discomfort. Black people looking for Biden or any other politician, but that's a total aside. We're not supposed to be looking for anything outside of ourselves and hear me clear with this one, not even God out of us, but the God in us to create. We keep wanting a God in heaven to create changes when the God in us has the power, has the knowledge, has the wherewithal, has the tenacity, has the genius, has the capability, has everything needed to create. But what do? We sit back and we wait for something or someone else, and we live in the discomfort because we choose not to create. What are you creating? What are you creating? And this isn't just about business. If you're having bad relationships, interpersonal relationships or romantic relationships, what are you creating to make those relationships better? If you have bad relationship with your parents or your children, what are you creating to make those better? If you if you are like me, man, I've been dealing with my weight and I'm on my journey back right now. But if you're dealing with health, what are you creating in order to change your health? What are you creating? We are not meant to adapt. We are meant to control. The first commandment in the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply, subdue the earth and have dominion. That's how before we get to thou shalt not kill or any of that, the commandment is to be fruitful and multiply, to subdue the earth. So God is telling you, listen, I'm giving you power to subdue the earth and to have dominion. Now, the devil tricked us into giving up our dominion. And then later on in Romans, the Bible says that the whole creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. It says everything, well, I'm paraphrasing now or explaining, everything in creation is groaning because creation is out of order since the humans aren't creating. Since the humans aren't subduing the earth and having dominion, since we are just responding and adapting to the environment, but the environment understands that it's out of control. So the whole creation is groaning, waiting for your giftedness to manifest. Now let's take it away from the macro, right? Because sometimes we're like, all right, well, I can't control the whole world. What if your finances were groaning, waiting for your manifestation? What if your relationships were groaning, waiting for your manifestation? What if your children were groaning, waiting for your manifestation? What if your health was groaning, waiting for your manifestation, waiting for you to show up in your 100% authentic self? What if everything in your life that you are calling haywire, the things that you feel are out of control, the things that you think you can't change, what if all of those things are causing a discomfort in your life to cause you to create something to fix it? When we start to talk to somebody about starting a business, the very first question people ask is, what problem does your product or service solve? This is what it's about. If we're going to market the product, we need to understand what problem it solves. And once we can recognize what problem it solves, we can sell it. Well, what are you creating to solve the problems in your life? What are you creating to solve the problems in your life? All of the things that you done complained about over this past week, month, or the whole first 6 months of this year, or where we just entering into the 6th month of the year. Everything that you've been complaining about, everything that you've been praying about, everything that you've been upset about, what have you even attempted to create to solve your own problems? What have you attempted to create to solve your own problems? See, the only things in your life that are out of your control are the things you don't create something to control. We we love to talk about something that's outside of our control when it's not really the root, right? That's out of our control. It's It's that we want to give our control over to somebody else. So somebody might say, I can't control if someone hires me. That is fair, but you're putting your life in somebody else's control. What do you want to work for? You want to work for money. Can you create your own income without somebody else? So you just shifted the control and gave somebody else control. When you give somebody else control, you give them authority over your life. So when we're looking at things as out of our control, we're not looking at the root. No, it's not that things are out of your control. You're conceding your control to somebody else. So everything in your life is in your control if you create something to control it. People have changed all kinds of medical diagnosis by eating right, by exercising. They put it in their control. They didn't say I'm just going to go to the doctor and I'm gonna have diabetes for the rest of my life and I'm gonna have to take insulin. I'm gonna have to no, I'm gonna take control of my health. I'm gonna find what foods I need to help my body regenerate itself because God created us to regenerate ourselves. And I'm only going to put those things in my body. I'm not going to keep eating all this processed stuff. I'm not going to keep eating all of these meats that are no good and shot up with hormones and different. I'm not going to eat all this sugar. I ain't going to drink all of these sodas. I'm only going to put things in my body that helps my body to regenerate itself. And they create a system in order for them to control the problem. So nothing's out of your control. You just have to create something to control it. So in any area of your life right now that you're looking at that you feel like is out of control, I ask you the question, what are you creating? What are you creating? The ball is always in your court. It's your life. It's your life. You got to take control of your life. We got to take control of our lives. I'm going to add myself in there right with you. It's not about other people. It's not about other things. It's not about the environment. It's about what you create. And here's the thing. All of us have that creativity in us. We all have a different type of creativity. I might not be an artist and I can't paint because I got terrible handwriting. I can't even make a stick figure, but I can create in other ways. I have the giftedness to create everything that I need. Might not be able to create what you need, but I and you, we have the giftedness to create what we need. Now, one of our biggest problems is we start looking at what somebody else created for them. And instead of us creating what's for us, here we go imitating. Drake said in one of his songs, he said, imitation is no longer flattery, it's just annoying me. We're trying to imitate somebody else's creation as opposed to creating what's specific to us. You have that creative power inside of you. You have that creative power inside of you. It's up to you to look at your problems and think to yourself, what can I create to solve this problem? As opposed to us just adapting to our environment. Because you can adapt to pain. You ever meet somebody with some kind of chronic illness or chronic pain? And you ask them how they feeling, and they like, you know what? I mean, I'm in a little pain, but it's not like it normally is. And they get comfortable with just a little pain. And we're not supposed to be comfortable with pain at all. But that's how we get in life. We get comfortable with the struggle. In fact, as Black folks, we get so comfortable with the struggle, we want to own the struggle. Not only do we want to own the struggle, we are proud of the struggle. I've been having, I don't want to say arguments, but I've been having some tough conversations with my daughter because everything that she's seeing and everybody around her has her with this get it out the mud mentality. And she starts to talk to me about certain things. And I'm like, listen, first of all, you are disrespecting me for having this desire to get it out the mud. You didn't grow up nowhere near the mud. You ain't grow up nowhere near the dirt. I kept you from all of that. You don't have to start at ground zero. I built things. I created things to where you don't have to start where I started from. But now you talking about you gotta do it on your own. And no. We go further. We're supposed to go further each generation. We're not supposed to go back. But as a people, we've become so comfortable with the struggle that we're teaching the struggle as if this is what we have to go through if you're Black. You have to get it out the mud. No, you don't have to get it out the mud to prove your Blackness. I proved the genius of my Blackness when I created systems to where my daughter don't got to get it out the mud. To where my daughter is privileged. I'm like, if you want to have this, literally the conversation I had with her, I said, if you want to have this get it out the mud mentality, go ahead. I ain't gonna stop you. You're almost an adult, right? You're almost an adult. But you're not getting no more $300 sneakers. How you talking about getting it out the mud when I done spent $150 for some Yeezy slides that I hated? How you talking about getting it out the mud and you got the latest and you got everything? You're driving a car. How you getting it out the mud? You don't want for nothing. How you getting it out the mud? You had a cell phone since you were 7. How you getting it out the mud? But this is what we've been teaching as a people. We've been teaching that struggle, and it's time for us to get out of that struggle. And the way we get out of that struggle is to create. Use your natural genius. I forget where I got that term from. I think it was Malefica Santi. Your natural genius. Those two words are two of the most powerful words together to me. You got a natural genius in you. And the world needs what you can create. Not only will it help you, but what you create will help somebody else. What are you creating? What are you struggling with? What are you creating to solve it? What is causing you the most discomfort? That's what you need to be creating to fix. What are you creating? And this all started from Bob Proctor saying that humans are the only creatures that are totally discombobulated in their environment, whereas other animals easily adapt. And the reason being is because we have the capacity to create. So when our environment is no longer fitting us, we have the power to create something to change that environment. So I just want to encourage each and every one of you watching this today to create whatever it is, create. Don't look at what anybody else created, just create. Don't look at the problems too hard, just create. Don't worry about the discomfort, just create. Don't worry about people judging you, just create. Don't worry about it being perfect, just create. Just start creating. And when you start creating, you will change your entire life. Listen, if you got any value out of this, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts. Ask your questions. I will respond. And make sure you stop by bfnkrumah.com to pick up one or all of my books. Or if you just want to drop a donation to a brother, you can do that at Cash App BF Nkrumah. It is BF Nkrumah, Black Men's Personal Development Coach.